Okay, so with me, we've got Thanks Ninja. I did work on this, but with me, we've got Vine Gaming. Everyone knows who Vine is.
Hello.
Hello. He's one of the boys. And obviously, you got me, Jordan. Hello. So today's going to be the first ever Nerd Club podcast. Obviously, we want everyone to feel welcome here. So if you're a nerd, welcome, welcome, welcome. With what we've done is it's going to start off by showing off this. So we have basically read some stuff. So as you can see, we read Amazing Spider-Man. We read Moon Knight. We read Walking Dead. Oh, Walking Dead was good. And then we also watched The Witcher Episode 1, which was also... Okay, so obviously the first one we're going to talk about is Amazing Spider-Man 2018, issues 1 to 5, because that was an experience and a half. I don't know how you feel about Vine.
Oh, definitely. Like even like the way they went completely like off the actual original Spider-Man story was great. Sort of added their own twist to it.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on Spider-Man anyway? So what was your actual thoughts on it?
Are we talking spoilers here? Are we allowed to talk spoilers?
Yeah, yes, spoilers. We're going to talk about spoilers. Warning everyone, spoilers for The Amazing Spider-Man 2018. Yeah. It's been out for quite a while.
I like when they like split. If you know what I mean. I like that, and then how he like tries to get back because they take different personalities, kind of thing.
See, that's my favorite issue. So issue 3, basically what happens, guys, is Spider-Man, he goes into the same ray that made the spider bite him, went into the same ray, bumped into it, and it split Spider-Man and Peter Parker. So you had Peter Parker with no intelligence, no Spider-Man powers, and then you had Spider-Man with all the intelligence and powers, but the Spider-Man didn't have any sense of responsibility, and it went all wrong. It basically it was terrible, but it's so funny because there's a scene, isn't there, where Spider-Man tries to climb up. Peter Parker tries to climb up the building, but just falls on his ass, and the drawing. Did you notice the drawing's face? It was very anime style, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It was
I love the art style of that.
Yeah. The art style looks really good. The thing with Spider-Man 2018 is that it doesn't... Yeah, like I said, he's done everything. So everything within the previous comic series, which we haven't read, obviously we know bits and parts of the story, but he basically... he's done all that, and now he's lost his job. He basically lost... he lost his educational degree because Dr. Octavius done it, and it was a copyright. And so, yeah, Spider-Man completely went for all the ringer. But that was... It was an awesome comic, but I would say for me, it wasn't the best thing out. Like, it's the least favourite thing I read out of all of them.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, for me. But I like how they put a twist on it, though. Well, I suppose they have to, because it's just the same sort of story, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there was no origin story, was there? There was no explanation for Spider-Man, was there?
And then him and Thingy romance is back on.
Mary Jane, and... Because obviously, some people think Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man are the loves of their lives. But Mary Jane's like this full supportive, I love Spider-Man now. There isn't any, I don't want you to run off. She went, I love you because you are Spider-Man as well.
Yeah, also, plus she stays with Peter instead of Spider-Man when all that split happens.
Thank you, Mr. Soil, Mr. Ling, and Flores for the follow, by the way. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the comics. Did any of you guys read the comics? Anyone from the community? Did you guys get a chance to read the comics I linked on Discord? If you didn't, that's fine. It's just a quick question. Give them time. Okay, looks like we haven't got any replies, but that's fine. But yeah, overall, I'm not that reader. No, can't read. Expected from Twitch chat. But yeah, overall, I ain't got much to say about the main Spider series. I don't think we're going to continue the Spider-Man series next week. I think we're going to replace it with something else. Because I did feel, I don't know how you felt, I felt a bit lost.
Yeah, kind of same. It was sort of like one story, and then the next volume was just changed to the next. Like completely different. It was like sort of like one story in each thing.
The thing I forgot to mention I did like was the Avengers. Right, all the Marvel. Right at the beginning, you see Mysterio is attacking like everyone in the issue, but you don't know it's Mysterio. It looks like he's all these aliens, and they do a good way of catching you up. But like literally, no one likes Spider-Man. Because Kingpin is trying to make their relationship break up, which is cool. It's really like fresh take on it, I guess. But I didn't. For me, it wasn't. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. But I'm probably going to swap it for something else.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to anything?
No. That's sort of it.
Chat. What do you think of Spider-Man? Do you like Spider-Man? We're fans of Spider-Man. Yo, hey RPS Dutch. We're just doing a little podcast. We're talking about Spider-Man. If there is no more comments on Spider-Man, I do like Spider-Man, yeah? Well, if you like Spider-Man, give the comic a go. It's on Marvel Unlimited. And it Marvel Unlimited, you can do free trial for 7 days. That's what I did. I think Vine, you did the same thing, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and after that, it's like £9.99, and you get all of them. So it's pretty cool. Right, now we're going to go on to something that I've been looking forward to. That was quite a short little briefing. But Moon Knight, what did you think?
Oh, it was like, for me anyway, it was like a cross between like Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. I really enjoyed it.
If you guys don't know Moon Knight, I didn't know. I know about him through like Marvel Unlimited Alliance. Like Marvel Unlimited is awesome. But if you guys like Moon Knight, you need to read the 2014-2016 comic. Now, there's no origin story. It just tells you that he died in Egypt at the beginning, doesn't it? Yeah. And then again, it's one of those. I want to find the origin story of the book, like this comic book series. So I want to know more about him because he's so interesting. For me, how I would describe him is a mix between Deadpool and Batman. That's how I could see, because the only reason why I think that is because just obviously it's just different viewing of things, but I see it like that because the way he's like got all these, he's like a millionaire, but through all the people he's killed.
Yeah, to be honest, you got it right there.
No, it's good. It was good. Now the comparison was good.
I understand what you mean now.
The thing that I like about Moon Knight, guys, Moon Knight is awesome. It's so gruesome, and the stuff you see in it is awesome. Like, is there anything particularly you want to highlight about Moon Knight?
I think it was the fifth one.
The fifth.
He just keeps going up the stairs and just wrecks boys.
Yeah, honestly, that was giving me major. Have you seen the movie Raid?
No.
Basically, it's this guy who makes his way up, beating all these people with like kung fu stuff, and it felt very similar to that. But loved that one. And Moon Knight was very impressive. Issue 4, Moon Knight was my favourite. You can't hear Vine that much. Okay, 1 second, let's turn up Vine a bit. Thank you for telling me.
Bring the mic a bit closer.
Try now.
Hello?
There you go. You guys should be able to. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Guys, can you hear him better? Wait for that.
Yeah, that's good. Sweet.
Brilliant. Sweet. Right. But yeah, my favourite issue for Moon Knight is number 4.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4. Go on.
I find after like the first one was like quite long.
Mm.
Like a lot of talking and sort of explaining, and then like the next 4 just freaking flew by as you're reading them. You know what I mean? This is a lot of pictures, but they're great artwork like in it.
It felt like action, like the comic book's interpretation of action. That's why there wasn't much talking. There's a lot of action, and they done storytelling through action, which is really good because storytelling for action stuff and actually really a lot of action movies and action comics get wrong. Like one of the best samples, if you guys don't know what I mean, have you seen John Wick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like John Wick, action tells a story. You know, like it uses the action as a plot progressor. So people kill his dog, he then kills people, and then as he's doing it, you can see the action progress, and it's really good. And I feel the same way about Moon Knight. Because now I say John Wick, now I think of John Wick of Moon Knight. Like, but my favourite issue, the one that we read, so we read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 was really good. It expanded on like who he is, what he's like, and a bit about him.
Yeah.
My favourite one had to be number 4 though. Number 4, a scientist contacts him, and basically, so he's got this white limousine that's so obvious, and he likes being seen. So unlike all other superheroes that try to sneak about, he's in a full white costume, Moon Knight, and he likes to be seen and make sure when people see him, they know they're about to get fracked up. Like really messed up.
Like but in the first one, he's going down the ladder to the soldier.
Yeah. And everyone's like, "You're nuts! You're going down to the soldier." It's brilliant. And in the 4th episode, the scientist goes up to him and says, "There's these people. I'm doing a dream experiment, and all these people who are having the same dreams, which is impossible because even though we're doing dreams about lucid dreaming, it shouldn't be possible." So Moon Knight goes in there, he sleeps in there, and he calls upon he's got an Egyptian god that helps him. And basically, he dreams. And basically, the dream panels are surreal. They're amazingly drawn. Anyway, you think it's going to be some kind of monster or some kind of thing that's going to destroy him or do damage to him. But actually, there is no monster. The actual monster is the guy who invited him. The guy who invited him ended up accidentally getting this guy killed, one of his patients killed, and he buried him underneath the floorboards. And the floorboards, all these spores were going in the air, and it was affecting the experiment, and that's why people were having the same dream. And the way it is, the drawings, the panels, and like the Moon Knight doesn't say anything. So you're wondering, why is he beating this guy up? He's beating the guy up and everything, and it's horrible. It was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Even from like the artwork, you just know why he's beating him up, kind of thing.
Spoils on different.
Because when he goes into the dream, it's kind of. It honestly felt like I was watching Rick and Morty or something. You know
yeah. I definitely get those vibes, Rick and Morty vibes. Yeah. But Moon Knight is so. And what I read, I don't know. It's a 2014, 2016. The 2014, 2015. You guys can see in the top left. I think it's left, right, yeah. And basically, it's phenomenal. Moon Knight's definitely worth a read. He's an aggressive R-rated hero. It got hinted at that he's got multiple personalities, but then they said it's not. And there is an overarching story, even though it seems like it's a monster of the week or the adventure of the week. There's that thing that's called him his son. This weird looking thing. Did you see that? It's really weird looking, weren't it? But I can't really remember what happened in issue 2. Issue 3 was the ghost, weren't it?
Yeah.
Where he had to use like the all the stuff. He's got tons of cool gadgets.
Yeah. They took a lot of stuff from Egypt and did a lot of stuff for fighting the alive people, but then he put on stuff to fight the dead. And he goes and smashes the frig out of them.
Yeah. But yeah, Vine put it perfectly, basically. Yeah. But yeah, Moon Knight is just basically relentless action, amazing drawings. And I would say overall it was just a great time. I wish I knew more though. Again, with the Spider-Man, a bit less with the Spider-Man, because I didn't feel that out of my depth because it was an adventure weekly. I wasn't expected to know who characters were. I want to see more of him. But I think we'll keep this series in there. What do you think? Do you think we should keep it in there?
Definitely.
I want to see more progress. There's other like series done by Moon Knight, but I want to see more progress.
I tried, I really wanted to read on, but I had to stop myself.
That was definitely hard. But again, guys, if you guys want to take part and read and all this stuff, join the Discord, which I will link. Oh wait, I can't because I turned off the command, didn't I? But the Discord command will be on there. And join the Discord, and we've got links to each comic book so you can read the comic books. But it's very easily done. There you go. I'll quickly link it now. Now, does anyone have any interesting things about the Moon Knight? Does anyone actually know about the Moon Knight? Does anyone know who he is?
I didn't even know about it until you sent me the comic, really.
Yeah, to be honest, I only knew him for a video game. He's a playable character in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And he looked cool, and I didn't really know much about him. But Marvel Alliance is a really, really fun game. Very underrated, but we'll have to talk about that another time. But he's honestly, guys, he's so cool. Batman plus Deadpool combined. He's funny as well, but he's not like Deadpool funny. He's just sarcastic funny. It's a good humor.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. But no, it looks like no one's got anything to say about that particular one, which is fine. Next thing we're going to talk about is The Walking Dead. Now, I've got a lot to talk about in this one. This was So I don't know about you. Did you watch the show? Didn't you?
Yeah. I've watched up to season 6, maybe.
I got up to Negan's prison. Do you know who Negan is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where the seasons are. We started off The Walking Dead, and I want to say straight off the bat, I prefer the comic already.
You know what? I kind of prefer the show because it's got very similar vibes to the comics because obviously it's based on it. But like they can expand on it a bit more and sort of show you more. And plus, the guy who plays Rick's like can't beat him.
Yeah, dude. The guy who plays Rick Grimes is Andrew Lincoln, is it? Andrew Lincoln, I think. Andrew Lincoln. He's British. I was shocked when I found that out. He's a phenomenal actor. But the series overall. So I kind of got bored of the Walking Dead series personally.
I got bored
of the TV show. I can see the comic book working a lot better because it's quick to the point.
Yeah. Like,
there's no scene. You don't meet... So, episode 1 to 5 are really good. Basically, you don't meet all the characters on the rooftop. There's no rooftop scene where Glenn takes on the rooftop.
And
Um,
Thingy's not there. Is it Daryl?
Daryl's not there. Daryl's
No,
brother's not there. You don't meet
no.
any of those people. There's a couple
McDonald,
other
no.
characters. I don't remember a Donna. Do you remember a Donna in the TV series?
No.
So there's a Donna in the comic book, but basically the Walking Dead comic book, it's all done in black and white, which I actually kind of like.
I prefer it black and white, to be honest.
I'm interested because it might do color eventually. I don't know if they do color eventually or not, but it made it feel really empty. It kind of made it a bit scarier, and the establishing scene for the zombies in that first issue when he's in the hospital and he just sees all the zombies is phenomenal. Like, I got really spooked out. And it's generally scary the way they do it. I've got some notes on here. Let me quickly find them. Is there anything you want to say about The Walking Dead in particular?
Just that it's very similar to the thing, which I was surprised because I thought it was based on. Have you ever played the Telltale games one?
Yeah, I played the first season.
I never watched or I never read the comics, and I always thought it was based on that, or whether the video game was based on the comics. So I thought like Rick and all was completely different.
Oh, so yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from. So you thought the Walking Dead video game,
the Telltale game series.
Okay, and then they made the comics spin-off to the game.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but no.
But no, to be fair, I don't know how good these were. But I think if you like the Walking Dead series, on my Discord again, on the Discord, there's a link to a Google Drive where you can just read the comic books for free. You can read the first 5 for free, and I'll upload another 5 this Sunday. It's really worth the read. If you're a Walking Dead fan, definitely. And I'm not even that fan of Walking Dead. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think, have a look. The black and white, yep, my favourite issue was... Oh, yeah, dude, I really like number 5. Number 5 was my favourite issue. I like learning the backstory of everyone.
Yeah.
I was gutted about Jim. I wanted to know more about Jim. And now Jim's been bit. So basically, it happens exactly like the series. The girl gets bit in the neck while they're all in the campfire. It all breaks down. I feel like you can see Shane's bit of more of a bad person in the comic, though.
Yeah, because they sort of drag it out a bit in the TV show, to be honest. And then you sort of find out, like not really like a cliffhanger, but later on, obviously, because they have to fill up, 15 minutes per episode.
Well, I definitely think that the Walking Dead series, I think the first one was really good. I think the first actual, it really explained the world, made you fear for your life, and really went for it. I did like meeting, I think it's Morgan, is it? Morgan and his son?
Yep.
That was quite interesting. Broke my heart a little bit because we know what happens there. We know what happens to the son. Maybe they do it different comics, I don't know. I don't know if they have the Lion King and all. Did you get that far in the TV series where they've got there's a dude who has a king, who's a king of a base, and he has tigers as pets?
Don't think I've got that far.
That's 7 seasons in. There's a guy with pets he's got a pet tiger in the zombie apocalypse.
I mean, the show's just going.
They might have that in the comics though. Like the amount that tiger must eat is unreal. Unless he eats zombies, but then I don't know how he gets away with eating zombies. Like, it's absolutely crazy because that the tiger alone. But yeah, I think after what happened in the second one. The second one is where he leaves, doesn't he? Gets the car and he finds a horse.
Yeah, but see the bit in the first one. I think episode 2's where he gets the horse. But episode 1 where he's coming across, he gets the bike and then sees that like girl, and then he starts near crying.
Yeah.
Dude, I love how they like implemented that into the TV series so well. You know what I mean? Because like the camera zooms into her and stuff, and then he comes back, and obviously he shoots her in the head. But yeah, I really like that.
To be fair, I don't think he shoot her when he came back, didn't he? So he saw her, and then he came back, and then he shot her, and it was like,
it's kind of like a whole like weight off his shoulders kind of thing, because I don't know, she was pretty fucked up.
She was like her skin was melted. You could see bones and everything. It was Walking Dead comic is just as I think Walking Dead is a bit more in the comic. It's a bit more gruesome actually.
Yeah,
because I think you can draw more gruesome things and make it seem more real than you can with practical effects. Maybe, but what I did like is actually how they did the scene with, I think it was Article 4, and it was the bit where they put the zombie guts on him.
Yes, that
And
doesn't
Glenn,
happen until like way later in the seasons, doesn't it?
oh no, it does happen in season 1.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. That's how they pick up the guns, the duffel bag. But they do it differently. So the duffel bag doesn't get dropped, and he doesn't get trapped in a tank. In the comic book, guys, what happens is that he basically the duffel bag he has, that's all fine, but they need to go to a gun shop to get more weapons, so they can train. So they can train the group on how to use guns, because Donna, one of the characters, almost got bit because the zombie sneaked up on her, and Shane will not move camp. For some reason, he refuses to move camp. He's like, I'm not going to move camp. The government's going to fix us all, and I want to be nearby and found quickly. Well, Rick doesn't want to. They argued about it, and Rick went, fine, we'll have it your way, but everyone needs to be trained in the gun. So Rick and Glenn go to Jim, and they say, where's the gun shop? And then you find out while they're walking about Jim's backstory. Jim had his whole family eating in front of him. His mum, his dad, his daughter, his nephew, his uncles, all of them. He only got out because they all got eaten, basically. And he's messed up. And I want to say more about character. Anyway, they then, somehow, I don't know, it doesn't really explain how in the comic why they think that, but Rick thinks it's something to do with smell. And so he covers himself some guts, and they start walking together. And Glenn pukes on himself, and then pukes loads. And there's loads of puking, which makes loads of sense. We didn't see any of that. And he pukes on himself. And I like the comment, he goes, well, I'll smell worse if your smell theory is right. And it's really, really, it's so gruesome and gross. I loved it.
I loved it too.
But yeah, obviously, overall, because obviously we've only read 5 articles in each one, because we're experimenting on this podcast, because right now, hey, Ninja! Because right now, we're not too sure on how many things to do, how many articles to read, because obviously we want this to last an hour, but I think we're only 80 minutes in and we're almost done. But overall, I'm mad impressed with the Walking Dead series, and we're going to keep that in. So far, we're getting rid of Amazing Spider-Man 2018. We're going to keep the Moon Knight. And we're going to keep Walking Dead. We're definitely going to Walking Dead, yeah?
Yep.
But at the end of the article, if you guys haven't read it, did you guys read it? Has anyone here read the Walking Dead comics?
I'd say so. Like, they're very popular.
I imagine 1 or 2 people must have read the Walking Dead comics. If not, that's absolutely fine. I imagine most people have definitely seen the TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we can definitely get that done. Nice, lovely. So Ninja's going to join in on the reading. That's brilliant, Ninja. Awesome. It's on the Discord. I'll chuck the link in there again. Just join that, and there's a Google Drive, and you can read a comic book for free. I've sorted that out. But yeah, so I'm very happy to keep Walking Dead. I'm looking forward to see what happens with Jim. I'm looking forward to happen to reading the next 5 articles.
Yep.
I want to read it, but it's too lazy, Alan. That's fair enough. I read everything today, and I found it wasn't too much of a rush. Did you find it much of a rush?
No, not really.
Five of everything. You don't have to read it during the week. You can read it all in the one day in the morning, or you can read 1 a day. Depends how you want to read, guys. Whatever's easy for you. This is a community-based podcast, and it's only going to get better, especially because this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. You've only watched the TV show all seasons. Okay, yeah, I imagine most people have. But yeah, overall, awesome. I think my favourite character in The Walking Dead at the moment, though, is definitely Rick. I like Rick a lot. I like Dale as well. I do like Dale as well, actually.
Dale, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dale's a good one.
Yeah, and I like the fact he was like, my plumbing doesn't work like it used to, made me laugh. And he's a very senile old man.
Yeah.
It's like the girls help him clean. There's nothing pervy there. Donna, I didn't really like Donna that much, but I think she's used as a point. You're not meant to like Donna.
You get to like her at the campfire when, like, sort of her and her husband share a story. You sort of feel sorry for her and stuff, but no, she still seems like an asshole.
Yeah, well, you're right. Basically, Donna got upset because the ladies were doing the laundry and the men were doing the hunting, and she's like, "God, I can't believe that's a thing." You know,
Yeah,
God, women won't be able to vote after this finishes. And it's just like, and Laurie, Rick's husband, replied with, "I wouldn't trust Rick with my washing. I wouldn't trust me with a gun." It's like that's that simple. Yeah. But I think she's one of those characters you're meant to dislike, and she's definitely not like her. I can't wait till hopefully she gets bit.
In the comics, I find Laurie to be a lot nicer,
likable.
Yeah, likable. Yeah. Whereas in the TV show, I'm like, don't like her.
No, and she's so family focused.
Yeah.
She seems like she loves Carl, and she's saying, and they didn't have weird sex in the tent.
Yeah, I know.
Because in season 1, I saw that, and because it was like, it doesn't make sense. Carl's in tent. Why would you have sex in the tent while Carl's there in the TV series?
Maybe because what happens later, they sort of have to point it out.
Yeah, but they could have done it at the farm because there's a farm season and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the comics, they don't have sex in tent. It shows more love what he did. He stroked her face. He was like, he was like, oh, I love you, baby. And it felt and he had him and Carl behind her, and she even said, and Shane and her didn't have a relationship. It was one night only. In the series, they had multiple, and Shane had that weird sex scene with her. Hopefully, that doesn't happen in the comic book, because I feel like Laurie's set up to be a lovable, nice, kind character, and I like that. I like that because Rick needs that support right now, doesn't he? And the fact that he said after that, what they did with Rick, guys, is they said that when Rick was scared, Rick was terrified, wasn't he? He said, I haven't had time to be scared, because she said he was shaken because he's so worried about them two, and that was nice as well. They really know how to portray emotion in a comic book, and I can see why it's raved about by comic book fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have anything to add about Walking Dead. Walking Dead, comic book, guys, if you haven't read it, read it. What are you doing? Read it. Just read it. There's no reason why you should not be reading it right now. You need to read it.
It's worth it, yeah. Even if you've watched the shows, like I've watched most of them, but it's nice.
And even if you're not a big reader as well.
Yeah, it's not much to read, to be honest, but that's the thing with comics. The artwork sort of just tells a story itself, to be honest.
Definitely. And I would say that with most people. Some people have said to me, when it comes to the comic book stuff, I don't really read. Try it. Just honestly, you may not read, but still try it, because it is phenomenal. The experience, a comic book, I can't explain it. It's what did you say?
I've never read a comic book before until the other day, so there you go.
There you go. And would you enjoy the experience?
Yeah. I'll read more.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, guys, do yourself a favor. The comic books we are recommending, read it. You like this time zone? Oh, brilliant.
Good lad, Al. So
try it. Yeah, like I do read books. I read Game of Thrones. I've read reading the Port of Time now. Like Darren Shan, like James Herbert, love Stephen King, right? But that's not the same as reading comic books. For me, comic books convey more emotion for me, especially for their drawings. Art is a way to convey emotion, and comic books are great at conveying emotions and just putting things in your face. I would say I really did enjoy Moon Knight, and it's not to take away from Spider-Man that Spider-Man is a bad comic. I don't because I do enjoy childish things, but it didn't feel as real. It felt really campy.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff he was saying wasn't relatable. Like, the Spider-Man I used to read, so I used to read the 1969, like 1970 Spider-Man, and he was so relatable. And this Spider-Man, to me, isn't as relatable. Moon Knight's not relatable, but he's an interesting character with depths and layers to him.
And kind of new, so you don't know.
Yeah. I have no clue about Moonlight, but he's super interesting.
Oh, also, if you don't like reading, I think you can go on like YouTube and type in like Walking Dead live readings or something.
Yeah,
kind of like Audible. Just check that out.
That's actually a good shout. Good shout. Yeah, if you don't like reading, because it's at the end of the day, this experience is going to just be just as good as you guys if you guys get involved. The Ranger's Apprentice. Hey, Tuckwood. What's the Ranger's Apprentice? I don't know what I could. But like I said, guys, if you haven't read any comic books, this podcast is going to work really well if you read along with us, because then we can talk about really good book series. Oh, I haven't read that. No. I'll make sure I add that to my list. But like I said, this podcast series will work as a community podcast if you guys read it along with, and you won't regret it, because the comic books I'm choosing are the ones that are recommended by the comic book community themselves. I'm not choosing randomly. I've been told that Moon Knight's a good character to get into, so I've read it. Maybe Spider-Man we'll put on the back shelf. We'll find something new. We might do a community vote, maybe. Maybe we'll introduce some manga. Maybe we'll do some anime, Japanese stuff. But definitely we're going to look into that. There you go. Have you found one? Have you? Thank you for linking that. Vine has linked in the YouTube, and for the YouTube video, I'll link it in the description of some audio listen.
Playlist there, so you can check that out.
Perfect. Right. Okay. So now with Walking Dead, we're talking about Walking Dead, Moon Knight, and obviously Spider-Man.
Yep.
My favorite. What was your favorite out of the three?
It's between Walking. Well, I don't know. I've watched. It has to be Midnight.
You like? I wasn't expecting you to choose Moon Knight. So Moon Knight was your favorite comic book. The 5 articles you read, that was your favorite.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's awesome. I wasn't expecting Moon Knight to be your chosen choice. I was expecting Walking Dead. Mine. Come on.
No, I think it's just because I've watched the episodes that it's kind of like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that happens. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Midnight, you just don't know. I don't know anything about it, so it was intriguing.
Well, yeah, no. Well, that's fair enough at the end, you know. So what is it about Moon Knight overall then that attracts you to it? Like, probably, is it the art or thing?
To be fair, I really like Deadpool and the way I've only watched his movies, like, but like the way he's portrayed as like, you know, kind of doesn't care, gruesome. You know what I mean? I like that kind of thing. And the comics was even the bit where he's like going down the ladders. Like they didn't need that. They didn't need to add that. You know what I mean? It just works well because he's like going down, and there's a few pages of that. So he's going down, and then he gets there, and then the guy knows he's there. Do you know what I mean? It's just a lot of mystery behind it, kind of thing.
I think with Moon Knight, something that I find really interesting about him is he only attacks bad guys who have attacked people at night.
Yeah.
So if there's a bad guy who attacks someone during the day, he won't attack them.
That's why I'm thinking it's maybe something to do with his dreaming, whereas he only becomes that when he dreams.
Well, there was quite an interesting thing. At the end of the one that you read, the number 5, the little girl says, "That's not a mask, that's your face," and he says, "Clever girl." That's really interesting. I don't know what she means by that, but something we did notice that in the dream he turned into he was in more normal clothes, and then he got his cape out, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I just think. I think obviously, right at the beginning of the book, it tells you his origins. He was a mercenary. He died in Egypt. He got resurrected by the moon god. But now there's this weird dad thing, like this weird father thing, this long mask, and then sometimes he wears that mask, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, only in that episode to defeat the ghosts.
So, do you reckon that's an Egyptian god then?
Could be, but seeing like my thoughts of it, where it was like. You see his face, and then he puts the mask on at the start, and then that girl says, "Oh, that's not a mask." So I'm thinking, when he goes to sleep as a person, he then becomes this thing in his dream and helps people at night, and defeats the people because he can't die. He says it himself. He's like, "Oh, I can't die." So he's not actually there. It's like an entity of himself.
But he did bleed, though, didn't he? I don't know if he said that for fear, like Batman.
Yeah, but
I don't know if he's doing like a Batman thing, like fear. He's trying to inject fear because he said, "When you see this mask, run." Yeah. And someone who says that to me doesn't say they're immortal to me. It says they want to use fear. If they're immortal, they would just kill. Why use fear? So I feel like you're on the right track, but I don't know. That's my point. It's all guessing games because we're new both of that, and that's why I love it. I love it's exciting.
When that wee girl said that, I just wanted to keep reading. To be honest, I just wanted to go to the next one.
Well, we'll definitely do 5 to 10, obviously. So you can technically read it straight after this podcast, but it's hard. I've got to review. It's hard, but I think, I'm gonna. My favorite one was Walking Dead for me. Moon Knight. It's close between Moon Knight and Walking Dead. But I think Moon Knight, I wanted a bit more overarching story. But it doesn't take away, guys. Moon Knight's phenomenal. But the Walking Dead for me, it's very fresh. Even though there was parts within the series that had happened in the comics, it's still different enough for me to enjoy the read. And I love zombies. I'm a big zombie fan. I've played every single zombie game out there, probably. And I've watched nearly every single zombie movie out there. One of my favourite movies of all time, Diary of the Dead. No one hasn't seen that. It's Cloverfield. Do you know Cloverfield, guys?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Cloverfield? You haven't seen Cloverfield? Do you know Blair Witch?
Yeah.
So it's a first-person shot zombie apocalypse, Diary of the Dead, and it's done by George Romero, I think, and it's so interesting. So zombie movies I'm a big fan of, zombie comic books, anything zombies in, if it's well done, and The Walking Dead is one of the best way of doing zombies. But yeah, so it's not just because of zombies. Character development's there, new characters introduced. It's very tense. Reading it's terrifying, and I like being scared. So yeah, for me, that is The Walking Dead is my choice, if you like to say, have all of them to read. So, guys, if you want to know what to read, Walking Dead, Moon Knight, worth your read. Try the 5 articles. If you don't like it, at least you tried it. If you do like, I would say Moon Knight, the first one, though, takes a little...
Takes a bit.
Read past number 1. Because number 1, I was a bit, But if you get past Moon Knight number 1, you'll start liking it instantly, I think. Most people will. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that concludes the talk for that. I guess we're going to definitely have to add more stuff to the podcast, definitely. Because now we're... Gone.
You forgot one thing?
What?
The Witcher? Or did we talk
I haven't.
about it?
No, that's what I was going to get on to. It's like, we're done with the comics, and on to The Witcher. Right, The Witcher. Okay, so I'm going to let you say whatever you want to say about The Witcher. You go first.
I don't know. It's hard to describe.
That's fine. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so Witcher, for me, I've only played about... Hey, Kay, how we doing? I've only played about... on Witcher 3, I've got up to the point where you play as Ciri. And that's it. So I've only played about 5-6 hours. So I understand who the Witcher is. I understand Geralt of Rivia. I understand a little bit. But the Witcher series, first episode, is probably the introduction, the first 5 minutes to Geralt of Rivia and that monster fighting scene in the little lake.
Yeah.
Was the most awesome introduction to any character in every TV series. Yeah, and I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
100%.
It was great. I haven't even played the games.
You haven't even played the games, yeah. Honestly, no. I want to read the books now. Like, there's books, there's games, there's comics, there's... Like, you can see what it spun off really well, but that intro alone, for me, hooked me.
Oh,
and the creature was really well done. The acting was really well done. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the world building as well. You could tell that there was a large world ready to be explored with the sections with Ciri and her family, and then the section with, obviously, Geralt of Rivia. I think there was boobies in it. That's always a plus.
I paused for a while, you know. Somebody was out the door.
Yeah, really, but I think the voice that Henry Cavill does, so you haven't played the games, but it's better than the voice actor that does the voice on The Witcher, I think. His voice is phenomenal. Hey, I'm Geralt of Rivia. It's just so badass, but it's like he's holding back, and like you just know he controls the room. His body language, his voice, when he walks through, he controls it.
I love that scene when he went into the bar and everyone's just like looking at him. Oh,
yeah. I think the main thing for me though is just the lines he comes out with, like wizards. What was the wizard line where he says about wizards talk all this nonsense and present it with illusions and other stuff, and just completely destroyed the like most fantasy genres you go into. Wizards are these powerful, interesting, mythical people, but he's saying wizards are actually pretty naff. Yeah, you got a bit of power, but you just talk a lot of naff and you talk rubbish. I've got no interest in that. Tell me what you want. And it made you understand the world that you're in is not the normal fantasy world you're used to, you know? And I really enjoyed that. Verzimil's quote, wizards are all the same. You talk nonsense while making wise and meaningful faces.
That's it.
That was beautiful, that line. I've loved that line. And he just comes out with great lines that just call out. It feels like he just calls out any BS.
Yeah.
Basically. Ciri, she's interesting. Ciri, the little princess girl.
Oh, yes.
She's interesting. I find her so enchanting. Like, she's a good actress.
Oh, yeah.
And the dynamic with her and her grandfather, I think, even though they don't look like grandma and grandma. Yeah. Have you noticed that? They look really young, so I don't know if it's a magical thing. But like them talking about, like, he talks about having sex with the grandma right in front of her while like, she was doing loads of degrees. Yeah. I just couldn't stop giggling. I think, I just think The Witcher overall is just, I can't wait to delve more into it. I think it makes me want to play the games. It makes me want to do more of the IP in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look for Witcher 3. Definitely.
You're going to look at Witcher 3, yeah? What about Witcher 1 and 2, though?
I've been told it doesn't really tie in.
Yeah, well, there is a continuous storyline 1, 2, and 3, and I've been told some people prefer 2 to 3.
Really?
Number one, you can watch a YouTube. I've been told number one, you can watch a YouTube video on for The Witcher, and you can understand the story, and then play from Witcher 2 and 3. That's what I've been told anyway. So anyone who wants to get into Witcher who hasn't got into the games yet, you can just play number one. I suppose it's quite outdated combat and outdated. You can still play it. It's still a very good game by itself. It got good reviews. But if you don't want to go through the old gameplay, watch a YouTube video on the first one. I'll link it in the description below for YouTube, and play 2 and 3. But yeah, honestly, the other things I liked. Is there anything else that you want to point out about The Witcher?
No. Well, like the battle scene and stuff was pretty good and
well choreographed. The choreography when he's fighting down and chopping through all her men and everything else was phenomenal. Like, he looked like he knew how to use a sword to me. Yeah. It's a bit weird. His backward stance was a bit weird, but I guess it's like a Witcher stance or something. Yeah. But it was super duper interesting. I really found the fighting scenes really good. I like the fact that evil is evil. No matter what he says.
Sure, that's what he says, sure, to the wizard.
Yeah. He says to the wizard, evil is evil.
If I have to choose between one evil or another, I think he said to choose none or something.
Yeah, I'd rather choose none. Something like, And I think that says a lot. Yeah. I think I get where he comes from. And I think it's about, the first episode is about obviously not judging things as they are. Because at the end of the day, that girl, I can't remember her name, the one who the wizard once killed, she wasn't a bad person. No. It was just all this, she's cursed because she was born in the sun. These things died and stuff. But instead, to get away, she got raped and then she ran away. And that was quite brutal. They didn't shy away from it and they were upfront with it. And I liked that. Yeah. And I think Geralt, him being seen as a monster, he can relate to the other monsters. Yeah. Which, some of the monsters, some of the human beings were worse ones. That little girl at the end, when she's like, "Get out of here." Yeah, I know. And she was meant to be like a nice character, and I just think humans were the worst monsters out of all of them, to be honest. Yep. But yeah, overall, Witcher, I'm very happy with. We're gonna now with The Witcher, I liked it, but we might be changing it for something else on the podcast. Now, there's a reason for this. There is a reason, chat. We might be changing The Witcher. We might be changing The Witcher for Star Wars Clone Wars. Now, there's a reason for it, because The Witcher, I wouldn't mind talking about when Season 2 is going to come out, and then we can talk about it then. Or, and right now, we can watch Star Wars, which, love Star Wars. Do you like Star Wars? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Clone Wars, I've been told Clone Wars, the Star Wars series, is meant to be absolutely phenomenal. Meant to be an amazing experience, and it's meant to be expand on the Star Wars universe by loads. And Anakin, Obi-Wan, they will expand on, and I love Obi-Wan. Now, do you guys, obviously, I want to hear your voices. Do you guys want to watch Star Wars Clone Wars, or do you want to continue watching The Witcher? Obviously, what you say is still going to influence what I'm going to be doing, but what do you guys think? Witcher or Star Wars Clone Wars? And both. Witcher. You could do both. Yeah, to be honest, the runtime's a bit not as long, so we could do both. Clone Wars.
I'm thinking here Clone Wars is going to win, to be honest.
I think Clone Wars will.
I have heard it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard Clone Wars is absolutely fantastic as well. And obviously we could do 5 Clone Wars episodes in comparison to one and 2 which episodes. But we do need to expand on this on the podcast, because obviously. Yeah. All right. Okay. So anyway, thankfully this is going to be edited afterwards, because I've got a lot of ums and yes, and this is our first ever one. But Witcher, there's not much really else to say. Really happy. Would recommend it if you haven't watched it. Netflix, you can watch it on Netflix. Get a free trial. Watch it. Worth it. And enjoy it. First episode was really good. It ended really well. The only thing is, there's been a couple of things where I feel like there's a twist coming up with because. The little girl says, girls can't be mages. But can you remember that? The little girl was speaking to the witch. She said she wants to be a witch or something, or a mage?
The girls can't be witches, it was.
Yeah, girls can't be witches, she said. But then you got Ciri, he's got this magical power where she literally fighting off another guy. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Corn. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot the opinion, Corn. I do apologise. We're about to hit the end of it. But basically, I think it's going to be I'm read up all the watch whatever you decide to watch until next week. Might pop in the call if you need me to. That's great, Ninja. You're welcome to join. You know what I mean? We've got, when it comes to podcast guests, we can have anyone on. We're doing 3 people maximum. And it's anyone from the community you want to join. If you've got a webcam, you can use webcam. If not, we can always do something else. But for now, something I wanted to talk about after The Witcher is, obviously we need to introduce gaming. So how we're going to introduce that, that's the question I've got to ask you guys. What do you guys think? How should we introduce gaming? Should we talk about game news, a game trailer, or games that we've played in the past? How would you like to see it incorporated into the podcast? Talk about all game news. Could do that. So, like, whatever's happened within the week, I'll get a list and we'll go through it.
Yep.
Weekly recall game related news. Keemstar of... Please, I don't think anyone wants to be Keemstar of anything, to be honest with you. He's not a very good person. Yeah, a bit difficult to finish a game every week. I agree, especially when you stream daily and it's RuneScape or Minecraft.
Finish RuneScape every week.
A pun?
Just 99 everything every week.
99 every...
Or a new account every week.
Yeah, easy peasy. God, fine. Or Mass Effect 2. All right, okay. So we'll do game news. So we'll introduce game news into next week. I'll take that responsibility because I'm the host. So I'll do that. So what we're gonna do then is, so let's just tally it up. Recommended comics: Moon Knight and Walking Dead. We're gonna replace Amazing Spider-Man. Anyone got any recommendations? That's a good question, actually. Should we go on to manga, and start reading the manga? Or should we do another comic book? No, because that's hentai.
I've read that.
Have you? Oh dear. We're not going to read Black Bible. Okay, so if anyone's got any recommendations for comics or anything... Because I was thinking maybe we can get some DC involved. We haven't got any DC, so either manga or DC. To be fair, I feel like we could do both manga and DLC. What do you think? Do you have enough time to do manga, DC?
I'm up for it. I'm easy.
Anything interesting in virtual reality? Yes! We've got, that's why any donations that we do get and any money we make from subs, we are putting into VR. Well, that's what I'm doing anyway.
Got mine packed away.
You got your, look at you, your buddy. Oh, look at me, I have VR.
Well, it's only an HTC Vive, you know.
Oh, it's only a HTC Vive.
You know?
Will these be made into YouTube videos? Yes, these will be made into YouTube videos, and they will be going on Apple and SoundCloud as well. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so question. Go on.
I was close to getting that, you know.
What was your Oculus Quest?
Then I went for the Vive.
Fair enough. I think the Vive's a bit better, isn't it? It's better graphically.
Room setup and stuff. No, I think the Oculus has a better, like.
Not Quest. Quest is the mobile one, portable one. So it's been downgraded. Right. Yeah.
I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oculus something anyway.
Yeah, it's Oculus. I know the one you're on about. Yeah. Is there any questions? Anyone got any questions for like comic books or gaming or anything like that? Any questions about what we've done? Quick Q&R.
It's lit.
It's lit. Looks like we don't have any questions. If we don't, I'll give it a second. How long did it take? Did it take to watch The Witcher? The Witcher was an hour long.
50 minutes, I think. Something like that. 50 minutes to an hour.
50 minutes to an hour, yeah. Yeah, definitely think it's definitely a longer side. It's not 40 minutes. I don't know if each episode is long. I actually looked into that actually. But what I think will, I think is there any heroes anyone want to introduce? So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do. No. We're going to watch one episode. No, God, no. Oh, God, yeah. Watch it all in an hour. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to keep Walking Dead. We're going to keep Moon Knight. We're going to introduce a DC comic. We're going to introduce a manga. We're going to keep Witcher, Stone. Oh, that's a lot. That's a big podcast. That's like. Yeah. That's fine. We can do it. Gaming news. Witcher. Star Wars Clone Wars. Manga, DC, Walking Dead, Moon Knight. Wait, so that's 7. Wait. It's a lot of work. Well, to be fair, in a week, you can read all that. Like, we read everything today. It's easily done. If you spread it out nicely, I write little notes on my phone anyway. Woohoo, love my phone. But yeah, it's definitely worth getting done. Auntie, I really enjoyed doing this podcast. Wish we had more to talk about, to us. I wish we had done more. But I thought it was going to be more than enough. But obviously, this is our first ever podcast. Yes.
Well, yours.
Well, yeah, I know what my podcast. Yeah, first ever podcast for the Nerd Club, for the community, anyway. Obviously, last thing I'm just going to go through now. Is anyone want any characters voted within the comic book so I can get down? Anyone want any particular? So it's got to be a DC character. I was thinking of Martian Manhunter. Joker comic. Joker, can't go wrong with Joker. So any DC character that we're going to start reading in the comics. Batman?
Batman, yeah. Be a good one.
I hate Batman.
Everyone likes Batman.
I love Batman. I just get really annoyed because people go Batman versus Superman. Does anyone know the answer to that? Who wins, Batman or Superman?
Oh, it's obviously Superman.
Good man. Anyone want to argue with me on that? Superman. Good man. Yeah. Good man, Superman. I haven't got idiots in my chat. Come on. I get really passionate about Superman versus Batman. But Batman looks better.
He does look cooler, but he's just a man.
Yeah.
Some fun.
It's just a man.
Yeah.
Does anyone know who Martian Manhunter is? Just out of curiosity. Martian Manhunter is part of the Justice League. He's the green guy in the Justice League. He's the one who can warp into anything. Basically could beat Superman. One of the strongest heroes. But if you guys don't know him, that's fine. I'm trying to do a bit more unknown heroes. A bit more niche heroes. But yeah, Swamp Thing's another one I've been thinking of doing. Swamp Thing sounds quite interesting as well. Swamp Thing's meant to be quite interesting. But it looks like we've got interest in Aquaman and Batman and Superman. Superman. I'll tell you what we could read. Have you guys heard of Superman the Red Sun?
Nope.
It's a comic book series where Superman lands in Russia and he becomes the Russian Superman. And it's meant to be quite weird and quite funny. And it's a short series. And everyone here knows quite a lot about Superman and Batman and everything else. Does anyone want to try that?
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Superman the Red... I'll find it and then I'll do a Google Drive for you.
Didn't you say that? Sounds interesting.
Kinky Catwoman. Oh dear, I love it. But so what we'll do then is I think we'll introduce that now. Manga. Okay. We've got manga is going to be super important. Okay, so manga wise, I've been told about a couple that are meant to be good, but I don't know where to go from. Does anyone here have any experience with manga or anime? Find you big into anime or manga?
Nope.
Fair enough.
No, I haven't watched any animes really.
I love anime. Shonen anime mainly.
Would Dragon Ball be classed as an anime, wouldn't it?
Fun? Dragon Ball, yeah. Dragon Ball counts.
I was considering watching it.
Oh, Joker's a good one. What was that?
One of my friends really liked Dragon Ball and all the other type of things.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll find a manga because I watch a lot of anime, but I don't really read any manga. We could go with something like a longer series, but I don't know where we're going to start. I was thinking maybe a very popular one. Do you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to do My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is one of the best animes I've ever watched, and it's meant to be an amazing manga series. Basically, for those who don't know, My Hero Academia, what we're going to read about, is where 80% of the world has superpowers and 20% doesn't. And they have a hero ranking system, and there's villains and all that stuff, and it's got some of the best character development, some of the best interesting world building. So that's what we're going to read as well, okay? Yep. All right. Are you good with that, Fine?
Yep. No problem with me.
All right, okay. We'll list it out for this Sunday. Right, so this episode will go on YouTube on Sunday. It also will go on my YouTube channel. Everyone, please check out Topic Bar
podcast.
The Topic Bar podcast, which is what Vine's part of. As you can see, his little logo. Do you want to link it in the Discord channel quickly? Not Discord channel, in the Twitch chat. We've got good old 61 viewers, so yeah, it's nice to see that we had 60 to 75 people stick around for the podcast. That was really nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
We had some new followers.
Thank you for having me on all
that. Yeah, no problem. Hey, it's the first of one. I think it was a bit shaky, but it's all good. But because I've never done a podcast before. Mm-hmm. That's why maybe when we have Saren about in your podcast and I go on there. That's right, boys.
He takes charge. He's probably listening right now. Making sure I'm not saying anything bad about it.
Oh dear, dude.
I'm just waiting on him typing in chat here a second.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say about me being in the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
yeah, basically, I might be on one of their future podcasts. It's called the Topic Bar Podcast. It's a YouTube channel. They've got some really funny stuff. They talk about conspiracy theories. They talk about game chat. They talk about Lithuania is the G spot of Europe. I don't know. They're very wide in their conversations. So definitely check them out. They're definitely worth checking out. I've watched a couple. I enjoyed it. They're funny. Seren's funny. The Lithuanian guys are funny. I never remember their names because I'm horrible. It's Mattis and Carolus. Fun?
You just left me out there. So everyone else is funny but me. Oh.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Still, as you can see, he's horrible, isn't he? He's a horrible guest. We'll never have him on again. Duncan. Honestly, I really appreciate having you here. It was very nice because I don't think it would have just been me here talking by myself because obviously not everyone was sure how this was going to happen. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the podcast, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Hello, guys. So this is the ending. I forgot to do a proper ending on the podcast just because we just started and it was live streaming. But no, this is going to be the ending now. So I hope you did enjoy the podcast. Leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy it. Obviously, we're going to be doing these weekly. If you do want any particular content added on or anything talked about that you're passionate about, you're a big nerd about, type in the comments below and I'll have a look into it because we're always looking to talk and discuss more nerdy things because that's what we do at the Nerd Club. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys later.